So are you a baby boomer? Are you between 65 and 85 years old? Hey, I got good news for you. This is your hour to shine on YouTube. You need to get onto YouTube, and in this video, I'm going to tell you the why, the what, and the how. The why, the what, and the how. And at the end of the video, I hope you stick around, I'm going to dispel the myth that I hear so many people on YouTube saying, just do it. Just do it. No, you don't just do it. And I'm going to tell you why that is bad advice. Hi, this is Old Mike, old me, living better. My motto is real simple. If you ain't dead, you ain't done. I started my YouTube channel when I was 80 years old. That's right, 80 years old. If I can do it, you can do it. So let me talk about the why first. Why is this the time to get onto YouTube if you're between 65 and 85? Well, the main reason is that the landscape has changed. Now, when I first got online, I got online in 1981 with my Model 100 TRS-80 Radio Shack computer in ASCII, dial-up. I ran my first BBS bulletin board system connected to FidoNet. Back in those days, graduated to CompuServe, Netscape, and AOL. But what happens is over the years, technology, social media, even social media wasn't even a term in those days, things change. Right now, the landscape is changing in such a fast way. You need to be on YouTube now because of the change that's coming in 2025. Did you know that YouTube is the second largest search mechanism behind Google? Of course, it's owned by Google. The other thing is that I find absolutely fascinating. Did you know that more people now are watching YouTube on their television than they are on computers and smart devices? Man, I'm full into YouTube. I've got their paid cable subscription. I've got paid memberships. My life circulates around YouTube. I watch movies on my large screen TV, but I also watch most of my YouTube content. People that like to follow on you, I watch it on my TV. I don't watch it on my phone. The landscape is wide open for you and I who are baby boomers. Now, I was born in 1943, so I'm just in front of the baby boomers, which most were born from 46 to the early 60s. So I'm from what's called the silent generation. Why they call this silent, man, I'll never know. But right now, did you notice what happened in the election? Now, this is not a political statement. I don't care what party you're from. But what happened in the election was a huge shift you should pay attention to. It wasn't mainline media that people were watching. It was social media that was watched. It was the podcasts that were watched. I mean, the whole mentality of where we get our news, where we get our content, is making a huge shift. You and I, who are baby boomers, or me just in front of being a baby boomer, we need to get into that and we need to make a difference. So here's another why. I've been working with seniors for over 30 years, and I've heard the same thing from many seniors and also from the hundreds of people that have been leaving messages in my videos. A lot of people feel like in my age group, especially me who's 80, that we've been put out to pasture. If you feel like you've been put out to pasture, well, I got good news for you. Change pastures. Yeah, change pastures. Hard to say that. Change pasture. Your new pasture is YouTube. If you feel like you're not going anywhere or doing anything and kind of stuck and put out the pasture, get a new pasture. get into YouTube. Make YouTube your new pasture. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So that's the why. What about the what? I think maybe this is the most important part of this, is the what. Now, I'm using my journal. A lot of you that have watched my videos know that I use a journal to write everything. I don't script any of my messages. I don't write them out. I do make comments and stuff. This is my oxen pine non-refillable journal. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to get one. And these are great journals. I absolutely love them. So if you're over 70, if you're 65 to 85, I'm on the what part. What do you have to offer YouTube? So here's the key. You can write it down. I'm going to put it on the screen. Leverage your experience. Leverage your experience. Now, there's so many different topics of channels on YouTube. Hobbies, spiritual advice, wisdom, attorneys. They're not giving legal advice, but they're giving advice. Career change, divorce, taking care of your kids and adult kids, sewing, all of these things, topics, and the people that I really like to follow, and it's not a bias against young people, but I love to follow the people who have already done it. They've had a life experience of, let's say, sewing or cooking. Matter of fact, mom's or grandma's old recipe. Here's a tip. You could do a channel on revealing the secret recipes of grandma. Well, I wish I'd thought about that earlier. I might try to do that. Yeah, the funny story is people get around for Thanksgiving, which is coming up pretty soon, and grandma's recipe, nobody has it except one person. She didn't write it down, or if they did, it's in a secret place. I'm telling you, get on YouTube. Because you know what will happen after you die, your kids or grandkids, somebody's going to reveal that recipe. Maybe they'll make a lot of money off of it. I don't know. But you can get on and do recipes, grandma's old recipes. I think that's a great idea. If you do it, you let me know, okay, in the notes below. But hobbies. Now, look at this. I got a lot of hobbies. Here's my fountain pens. I'm a fountain pen collector. There's about $4,000 worth of fountain pens there. Can you believe it? I got a Visconti watermark. My word. I love that pen. So I could do a channel about my fountain pens. Bibles. I collect Bibles. I got some old Bibles, some new Bibles. I really like really premium Bibles. There's some great channels that do nothing but review premium Bibles, and they do really well. These are people that have a passion for their hobby. But the other is knives. This is a Marvin Lozada custom-made knife, Damascus blade, beautiful handle, and this is about $1,200 to buy. But I love collecting knives. There's some great, Jim Skelton's got a channel where he reviews knives. There's so many special areas around hobbies, but most of these people, what are they doing? They're leveraging their knowledge. They're taking what they grew up with. They're taking what they learned, what they did. Now look, if you're a baby boomer like me, we were part of a generation in the 80s. We were innovators. We were innovators. We got in there. Matter of fact, the internet wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us. So many advances in medical science in so many fields, marketing, you name it, all the different industries. The 80s was a time of expansion, and those of us that lived through those 80s, we were a part of that. We were the innovators. Don't let anybody put you out to a pasture. Take the knowledge and what you learned and gained through that. Leverage that into a passion. I talk a lot about passion in my first video, and I'll link it at the end, where I talk about the plan that I used to create my channel. But passion is so important. I see so many YouTube channels, people talking about this, that, and the other thing, and you can tell they're not passionate about it. Or the ones that are passionate have no structure. So there are a lot of mechanics to starting a channel. So the summary of the what is real simple. Leverage what you already know. Now, one other thing under the what area. I'm so tired of the hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of YouTube videos where there's some young person who is saying, you want to make $1 million? Start your YouTube channel. I got monetized in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, and the money is rolling in. I created a whole business. And there's all kinds of videos about doing funnels, marketing, starting the business. Now, if you're a baby boomer, or if you're like me, 80 years old, you don't care about starting a business. Matter of fact, I don't care about making $1 million. Now, if I make some money from YouTube to support my retirement, hey, that's fine. But I'm not going to start another business. Now, let me tell you about those of us that are baby boomers. The baby boomers, in my opinion, were givers, not takers. We're living in a generation of takers at the moment. Nothing against those generations behind us, but there's been a shift. We gave into our industries. We gave into our jobs. We gave in to what we did as innovators, as early adopters into all of the industries that we were involved in the 80s and 90s. We were givers. Now, some of us, of course, benefited from that financially. But there is a sense now the only reason to get on YouTube is to make money. No, not at all. You have to start with a different mentality, at least in my opinion. If you come to YouTube with the sole purpose you're going to become wealthy and become rich, I don't think you may strike it rich. I don't know. You might find the one little tweak on your YouTube channel that'll get a lot of hits. I don't know. You see all these videos. Do this one thing and it'll blow up your video. Not going to happen for most of us, okay? It just won't. The secret to YouTube, in my opinion, is well-structured, well-thought-out content. You've got something to say. So many channels I go to don't have anything to say. So I think when you approach, if you're a baby boomer or somebody like me, I'm a little in front of you, 80 years old, you want to come to YouTube not with a take mentality, but with a give mentality. I'm so happy some of the gurus that I'll mention at the end of the video you can buy some of their content and services, but they give a lot away. I think YouTube is wonderful. I mean, you can search YouTube on how to unscrew a light bulb, and there's probably 100 videos on that. Whatever you need to do. There's how do I do brain surgery on myself? Well, I don't know if there's any videos on that, but I mean, there's a video on almost everything on YouTube. So someone said to me one time, long life is a gift. But I've discovered in working with seniors and looking back at people that have meant a lot in my life, a life well lived is a gift to others. Yeah, a long life is a gift, but a life well lived is a gift to others. For my generation, one of the reasons I'm doing the YouTube is because I want to give something back. It's a wonderful thing. It's at the heart of, I think, our generation, the baby boomer generation. Let me move to the third thing I want to talk about, the how. The how is not that complicated. The how involves making a plan. Jesus, in Luke chapter 14, verse 28 and following, he makes a comment that's pretty interesting about building without a plan. If you jump in and build without a plan, then the house is going to fall down. As an experiment, I went to ChatGTP and I asked it if that concept of planning before jumping, learning to swim before I jump off the boat, was in any other spiritual traditions. Guess what? It was. Almost every spiritual tradition has this concept of planning before leaping. Now, it's a tragedy. I mentioned before, the channels that I go to and the people that have bought into the myth just do it. So in the how section, I want to encourage you to take the time to plan and strategize. Now, my channel is doing pretty good. And if you look at my first video when I explained the plan that I used, yeah, it took off pretty fast. But guess what? Before I launched my YouTube channel, I spent 3 months planning. I spent 3 months educating. So if you're on the dock, you can jump off into the water. But if you don't know how to swim, that's not so hot. Now, if you're on a ship and it's sinking, you got to jump off, right? Better that you learn how to swim first before you jump off. That's why I am so against the idea of just do it. And I hear it all over YouTube from so many people. Now, yeah, if you've done your planning, you've done your work, and now you're procrastinating, yeah, just do it, okay? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you just pick up a camera one day and you start recording and you think you're going to be a YouTube sensation. That is not going to happen, in most cases anyway. The just do it works maybe for 0.001% of YouTube, but not for the rest of us. You'll do much better if you spend the time preparing yourself to launch your YouTube channel. So I'm going to recommend that you go to Kevin Colby's playlist that he has on getting started. I'm going to link it in the description below. And I encourage you to go there. Kevin, I really like Kevin. And you go watch that playlist. It will give you a foundation of how to start a YouTube channel. I spent 60 hours watching YouTubes in the first month of my planning. So I've learned who to watch and who not to watch. Also, if you want to join my email list and my Old Me Living Better tribe, I have a link in the description that you can sign up for my email. I'm going to publish soon, in another couple of weeks, a quick start guide for baby boomers to start their YouTube channel. If you sign up for the email, I'll make sure that you get a free copy of that when it's ready to go. It's not quite there yet, but it will be soon. Now, one last thing, I just have to mention this, is that the joy of doing a YouTube channel at 80 years old, I got kids and grandkids, and I have a grandson who has a YouTube channel and a TikTok presence. And he's rocking it. I'm going to leave a link. You can go check out his channel. Some people say we look a little bit alike. He's a lot more handsome than I am. He's 30 years old. Can you believe it? And but one of the joys of being in our age group, a baby boomer, we're going to have other family members that may have a YouTube presence. You can collaborate with them. You can talk to them. You can share things with them. It's a way of staying connected. This is our time. If you're a baby boomer, you need to be on YouTube. Go listen to Kevin's series on getting started. Join Alexa's community. Spend some time doing the research. Watch my first video where I explain my 3-month process of finding my passion, doing my research, the hardware, the different things that I did in that 3-month period. I encourage you, don't just do it. Take 2 or 3 months. Plan, strategize. Oh, you'll be so much better off for it. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like it, go ahead and subscribe. Sign up for my email. Oh, if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, I got a link down in the notes down there to do that. I'd appreciate that. Not a lot. I'm not going to get wealthy doing this. But anyway, I hope to see you next time. Go get into the new pasture. Get out there into YouTube. You can do this, I know. See you next time.